So I just went out of my comfort zone. I went to the... Well, good morning. Another cloudy day in Nova Scotia. More cloud for the foreseeable future, and then rain. Out past the airport here, it's a place I've been to before. I've never shot it with leaves. So I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So in Milford, and I'm shooting that super nice lone tree out there in the field, which they're actually haying, the foreground. But it's really neat because right below the tree is a yellowy hue, and then we have the green grass, and then there's leaves on the tree. So I'm a little further away, and then I'm going to go down the road and kind of shoot it all the way around and up to where I've shot the sunset before the sun would rise here. So I'm positioned here like where I am on the road because there's power poles and I didn't want them to interfere with the tree. So I'll remove them in post and it'll just be a whole lot easier. Don't know if it'll come across, but you can see there's power lines across the top here from the substation, the larger poles there. So I'm at about 1/100th of a second at 600 millimeters. So I'm going to put a 2-second timer on and we'll bang this one out.
I then tried to incorporate more of the scene, specifically the road closer to the 300mm as a foreground element. I had a composition that was pleasing, although it would have been much better if the road, instead of leading out of the frame, led towards the tree. They should really redo the road for me.
Well, we'll move a little further down. I did take a couple wider view shots there with the 24-120 at about 120, and we'll see if those turn out.
They didn't turn out how I liked, preferring the telephoto version over them. I would get this shot before jumping into the car, using another closer field, add more depth to the shot. I had audio issues at my next spot, but shots of some of the equipment working in the field and more shots of the tree, of course.
So I'm right below it, off the road. And we got some purple leaf flowers here, and where is it? Right here. Those white ones kind of what was further along. And I'll dig out the telephoto and see if I can shoot through those while keeping the tree sharp and throw these out of focus. So back on the top now with our lone tree. There's not a big crop like I thought there was going to be. I don't know if it's baby corn. I haven't looked at it too closely yet, but we got some little bit more interesting sky on this side at least. We'll go dig out the camera. a bald eagle just landed at the top of it. Go get that telephoto out.
I didn't realize until going through my images afterwards, but you can see the immature bald eagle in my earlier shots.
So he's still in the tree. I think it's an immature bald eagle, but I'm gonna move further down to get a better perspective so I don't have all the buildings in the back and I have more like rolling hills. So move down. Well, I was caught in a moment of indecision. It definitely was a bald eagle. It did have the white head. I think there are two of them in the tree, and the one that I was focused on in terms of photos, like once it already landed, was an immature, and it later took off. But I didn't know what I was doing. Tried to take a photo with the bald eagle circling around, even though it didn't look like he was necessarily going to stay in the area. Get some video of it flying. I think I got nothing, but we're at a better perspective now where we'll go a little bit lower, and then there shouldn't be anything in the way. There is that power pole pylon sticking out over there that we can always make disappear.
This particular shot was tight enough that I didn't need to remove the pylon because it wasn't in the frame.
The sun's popped out. So there's one of those power poles, and then that's one that breaks the horizon, which is more distracting, but for the most part that's out of our frame. The sun has really warmed stuff up. Get your coat. I'm going to use some of these to throw to focus. Focus solely on the tree at 4. Okay. Try to make them fit within, not block, not interfere. A little symmetry wouldn't hurt. Doesn't help that they're moving. There's nothing along here with color. I lied. Daisies. Now it might look really weird with them out of focus because we all know what they are, as opposed to just a purpley flower. So, we'll take it anyway.
I didn't like any of the shots that I took here. I felt that they all looked like I put a bunch of Sunnyside eggs at the bottom of the frame.
So I just went out of my comfort zone. I went to the farm that I assume owned the property. There's nobody at the main building here, but I went to the house and met Guy, who is the owner, and I got permission to go onto the property in early March, April to shoot the Milky Way. So now I'll be able to get super close to it. So he asked that I share those photos with him, and then I also showed him the ones that I shot before. I'll fire those up here, but that's exciting. one of the other reasons why I came out here today. Well, on the way home, I thought I'd stop off at Oldham Road to hit that small little waterfall that's just off the road. Parked at the playground here, and then I'll head up and see if the trees are enough to kind of block for a wider field, and also to see how much water is going through.
After making my way down to the water, I found the flow was much the same as it had been during my spring visit. The biggest difference was that the trees had grown in, particularly hiding the guardrail, giving the scene a much more natural feel. I spent a few minutes looking for compositions that were different from the ones that I'd captured before. One tree immediately caught my eye. I loved the way the branches fanned outward, creating beautiful shapes that naturally drew eye intention into the frame. I also noticed that the bubbles drifting across the water weren't moving very much, and I experimented by taking one exposure with the 6-stop ND filter for around 20 to 25 seconds, and another one with the 3-stop with the intention to blend the two together. As it turned out, I never needed to. I actually preferred the one single exposure in each case for different reasons. The bubbles had taken on a look that reminded me of the pockets of air or even methane trapped in beneath the ice against the dark water. That added an unexpected texture and atmosphere, and I thought it worked really well. Before calling it a day, I stepped back for one final wider composition. With a few images I was happy with, and some different compositions from my previous visit, I packed up and headed back to the car.
Well, nothing too crazy. I probably should have shot the waterfall before going to the tree, but I guess it was more of an afterthought anyway, because I wanted to shoot the tree, then get permission or track down the owner. But I think there was a nice shot there with it's already going to have a glow, but I'm going to add a little bit more emphasis on it, the tree, and then the waterfall. But yeah, we'll go back to the car, do a tick check, run to the store and get me an e-drink.
And this is exactly why you do a tick check. I found this little hitchhiker making his way up my leg. I came away with some images I'm really happy with, and I'm already looking forward to next year's Milky Way season. Now that I have permission, I'll be able to get nice and close and capture the scene of the tree filling the frame, silhouette with the Milky Way behind it, the way I've envisioned it. Hopefully the weather's a little bit more cooperative, because this year's Milky Way season hasn't been very kind to me. Well, me personally. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this adventure, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.